Hey, Tyler in Oklahoma City. I'm not sure what state Oklahoma City is in. I'll have to get back to you on that. But this is Matthew at freeprescriptionlenses.com. And with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to be silly and show you how to cut your prescription lenses with Transitions Gray and Crizal anti-glare coating for the frame that you have sent me. So let's open up the box and see what you have sent me. Okay, let me move over there. You have sent me your Rayban. It looks like it is a used Rayban 5228 color 2002 in the 52 eye size. So I'm going to take out the original lenses. Let's pop those out real quick. Of course, I'll be shipping these back to you because they belong to you. But I'm going to clean out the inside of the frame because I just don't know what condition the frame is that you send to me. So I'm just going to clean everything up really nicely. Of course, this is one of Rayban's best-selling frames now, model number 5228. The color is 2012, which is their dark Havana. And if you hold it up to the light, you can actually start to see the tortoiseshell. But indoors, my low light camera is not picking that up. So now that is done, I'm going to put your frame into my tracer and hit trace. Well, I got to hit the green arrow first. But then the next thing that happens is the stylus will pop up and it's going to trace the shape of the right side of your lens, the lens shape, before moving over and tracing the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Rayban frame from me, and you will receive free, clear, single-vision prescription or non-prescription fashion lenses. However, you did not buy the frame from me, so you are paying for the base lenses, as well as the upgrade to Transitions Gray and anti-glare. So that is the shape of your lens magnified. If I pull it down to its original shape, size, I should say, that is what it will look like, that little green circle. Hopefully my camera is good enough to pick that up. Let's magnify everything again. No, let's not do that. Let's hit that button to magnify. Now I'm going to take your lenses. I'm going to go down and put your Crizal cloth back in here. Go down to my lensometer. Let's put some more ink. God, I've got too many bottles. Look at this. I'm knocking everything around. I've got to clean up better. Did not know I was going to have company coming over watching everything I was going to do. But I'm going to put some more ink into my Marco 101 lensometer. And I'm going to put some dots on your lenses. Put the cap back on. And let's see, your right eye reads -50, -75 at 10. So I'm going to spin the axis wheel to 10. Hopefully you can see that through the magnifying lens. Now your right lens -50, -75. Oh, you're the same in both eyes. So let's see. This is your right lens. Keep a track on it. Keep a track. Which one is your right lens? Which one is your right lens? It is this one. Okay. Take it out of the protective sleeve. It actually has a little laminate film on there to protect anything from rubbing on it during shipping. So let's put it power drum on -50. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to spin your lens until the optical center. In fact, let me zero this out. That is perfect. Back to that. I have found the optical center. I rotate it until your sphere power comes in clearly. I rotate your lens now to check your astigmatism correction, and now I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses. The first 2 are good. Let me use my pen to darken the third. There we go. And this is your right lens. I will mark R. And by the way, actually I guess it doesn't matter, but one thing I would like to do, there's 2 ways you can write. You see 2 different prescriptions, -1 1/4 +75, -50 -75. If you notice, this a long time ago, doctors would write prescription in plus cylinder. Now everything is in minus. So I'm just going to highlight this because you will receive the original lens packets. And just for fun, well, I would write right and left, but you're the same in both eyes. That's why I was switching. It really didn't matter which was right or left. I can't get that wrong until after I put these dots on there. Once these lenses are oriented, they have to go into the frame just that way. So I'm going to spin this back to 0, which is 180. It's still on -50. Put your lens in and rotate until the sphere power, which is -50, comes in clearly. And what I see inside here is 3 straight lines. That tells me it's lined up perfectly. I have 1 thick line to check for your astigmatism correction. And now I'm going to put 3 dots again on there. And why is that 3rd dot just not as dark as the rest? And we're going to make this your left lens. Now let's go back down here, and of course I'm going to save your sleeves because I will be shipping these back to you just to authenticate that you are receiving Transitions Signature 7 series lenses in the gray, and it also has Crizal Alize on there. Let me highlight that so you'll be able to see that. Crizal Alize on both lenses. Above that it says Transitions7 in the Airwear, which is the brand name for polycarb. Now this is called a block. This is what I need to attach to your lens while it is cutting. It's going to hold it in the machine. So I need to put a double-sided adhesive sticker. The green side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the block, leave one in there, grab a second one to do the same thing, although I already put one in there, so I guess I can take that one back out. Woohoo! It's still alive. It's trying to get away. Put the sticker on there. This little silver tab is a magnet. I'm going to put that there. It's going to hold it in place. I'm going to peel away the sticker. The green side is the sticky side. I'm going to take your right lens. Of course, your pupillary distance is 60 divided in half. That is the distance in millimeters from the center of your pupil. So from one thumbnail to the other, that is the exact distance from the center of your eyes, with 30 being in the middle. So where's my stylus? This is where your pupillary distance goes. I'm going to bring that down to 30 in each eye. And the blue cross is the geometric center of your lens. This is where your optical center is going to be. So I'm going to put, the reason why I put those 3 dots on there is that lines everything up on the horizontal meridian to make sure everything goes in there perfectly. And I'm going to hit this button, and that will drop the lever down onto your lens. That has now attached the block. I just pressed that on there to make sure it's on there firmly. Let's do the same thing for your left lens now. Get my PD stick out of the way. Pull the sticker off. Put the block into the arm. And it automatically doubles for the left eye. So we're getting it switched to the left already. That is the shape of the left lens. It sets it to 30 because it just mimics what happens on the right. So again, I'm going to get everything lined up just perfectly. Yes, that smear mark, I smeared the red that's on there. That's why you see a big smear mark over here. But it's good enough to get everything lined up because I'm using that one as a meridian. When I get it done, there's little yellow X's there. Hopefully you can see all that. But we're lined up perfectly. And then hit the button again, and that's going to go down and put the block onto your lens. Press that down there firmly again. Now, I hit this button. This is the shape of the left lens I cut for Caroline in Lafayette, Louisiana. I hit the button, and this is now going to bring your shape over to the computer. These are polycarbonate lenses. If you see PC, the 2 stars indicate that it's cutting on the soft cycle because of the anti-glare. 1 star in red means it is no anti-glare. Hit it again, we have 2 stars. This button would polish the lens, but I do not want to polish your lenses because of the anti-glare coating. But I press it on there firmly. The actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's a heavy grit wheel that's going to grind away your polycarbonate lens material to its final shape. Again, this little silver tab is a magnet which will hold it in place in the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know it well enough to call it chuck. But I will put that there. I'm going to hit this green button, and when I do, the door is going to close. The chuck is going to clamp down. And then next there will be 2 white styluses. They're going to come down, and it's going to trace the shape of the right side of your frame onto the lens to make sure the lens is large enough to fit, which it is. But it's also measuring the thickness of the lens as it goes all the way around to know exactly where to place the bevel so it will fit best inside your frame. Now in just a moment, your lens will come down onto the cutting wheel. It is actually starting very slowly. If you heard me mention before, this is on the slow cycle because of the anti-glare. Although I called it the soft cycle, it means it just cuts slower. But in just a moment, and the moment is now, your lens will begin cutting. So your lenses are Airwear, which is polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is virtually unbreakable. It is bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into it. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes while you are wearing these. Also, your lenses are aspheric, meaning that a spherical lens is completely round like a fishbowl. This is aspheric, where it flattens the curvature. Not only is it 40% thinner and lighter than plastic, but the curvature of the lens is not rounded. It's very flat. So not only will it fit into the frame, it's going to be very flat, following the contour of the frame, so that it does not bulge out and give you an ugly cosmetic appearance. Now, these are transition lenses. They also have Crizal Alize anti-glare coating. Anti-glare is 3 features in one. I'm pulling a lens without that coating. The first feature is it eliminates glare, particularly driving at night in the rain, but street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights. As I move the lens in my right hand, you can see how the fluorescent lights reflect off the lenses. It's also an anti-reflection lens. So when someone's looking at you and they're not looking at their reflection in your lens, it makes for much better eye contact. And of course, the #1 reason a lot of people buy this is the cosmetic appearance, that if someone takes a picture with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. It will be greatly reduced. And of course, the third feature that I like, the practical side, is that it comes with the best scratch protection in the business. Years ago, the machine that would apply the anti-glare coating cost $1 million. Now I'm sure they cost more, but it would take 24 hours, and they would actually vaporize 7 different layers onto your lens. Let it dry, vaporize another, and they would do it 7 times. The one they do not do is a green hue, and that's why when you look at your lens, it has somewhat of a green hue to it. Now, I wonder if your old lenses have transitions. Let me take one that is actually clear now. I'm going to put it in my little transitions unit and turn the light on, which is a strong UV light. And if your lens had transition, it would start darkening now. We're going to do this for yours in just a moment, but it has stayed clear, so you don't have transitions in your old lenses. But of course, I am going to wrap up your lenses and send them back to you, because they are yours. They belong to you. You paid for them, and I've got no need for them. I'm just going to get a little protective sleeve that I save. This is what the multi-billion-dollar labs send me. Their bifocal, invisible bifocal, transition, anti-glare, polarized lenses. So I'm going to put this back in there with you. And let's put that there for now. Your lens is done. It's still clamped in there, so I'm going to hit this button to open the clamp. Take the magnet out of the chuck. Grab a paper towel and dry your lens off, and we're going to see if it fits in first time. So I'm going to take your right lens, tuck it in at the outside corner first, and then using my thumbs, press down at the nose. There's still a little bit of give, so I'm going to take it back out, and I'm going to take it down 0.5, 0.10. That is 1/10 of a millimeter. Hit the retouch button. The door will close, the clamp will shut, and instead of going to the cutting wheel, it's just going to go to the bevel wheel and take 1/10 of a millimeter off. And for everyone at home who doesn't know what a millimeter is, it is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance off all the way around the circumference of your lens until it snaps into your frame easily. I do not want to force the frame in there, because it would cause your frame to stretch, or worse, what we call roll. When I say we in the business, if you imagine your frame, this little bevel that I can put my fingernail in, as a gutter, if your lens was too large, it would force your frame to roll outward. Gives you an ugly cosmetic appearance, shorten the life of your frame. And I'm a perfectionist. I'm not going to ship anything that is not perfect. Plus, I want you to be able to pop these lenses out in the future. Should you ever need new lenses for your frame, I can ship them right to your home. You will not need to ship me the frame again. The reason why I had Tyler ship me his frame this time is I sent lenses only to someone, and they mentioned they were a little bit loose. That's because I did not know the wear and tear of the frame. Someone else could have cut a large lens, and then when I come behind them years later and I cut a perfect size, it may feel a little loose. So that's why I asked Tyler to mail me his frame, just so I could do a perfect fit. If I had not gotten an email from someone saying they thought they were a little bit loose when they mounted them. First time that's ever happened, but I apologize, Taylor. You happened to ask me for the same lenses for the same frame during the same week, so I made you send me your frame because I didn't know the condition of your frame before you sent it to me. So again, I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner using my thumbs, press down at the nose. Now it snaps in easily. And if you notice, I did take it down 1/10 of a millimeter. If this were cut large, whoever ahead of me, that's what happened on the last person, and then you're just setting the next person up for failure, especially when I don't even get to touch the frame that I'm sending lenses for. So I'm hitting the L button, which stands for not right. Hey look, there's an L on here which stands for not right. Put that lens into the chuck and hit the start button. Just like before, the calipers are going to close, and then the calipers, or the chuck's going to close, and the calipers are going to come down and trace the shape of the left side of your frame this time to make sure the lens is large enough to fit, and also to measure the lens. Of course, your lenses aren't thick, but I do cut a lot of thicker lenses, and it just knows where to place it inside. If you want to keep score at home, this is the material that was cut off of your lens. I'm going to put the trap back to collect the polycarbonate that is left over. While your left lens is cutting, I'm going to continue to work on the right. I'm going to pull that block off. I'm going to draw your lens off, leaving that red dot. That is your optical center. I'm going to use that red dot to put it into my lensometer. I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 10. And just above that, right over that red dot, I'm going to read the power. And I am reading -50, which is exactly halfway between 0 and 1. I need to get a better light down here. Check your astigmatism correction. And I am getting 1 1/4. The reason why I get that, your right eye reads -50, -75 at 10. The left eye reads -50, -75 at 180. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world, and you know what? Even though this isn't a permanent copy, this is just a, I'm just going to write on there, these are Transitions7 lenses with Crizal anti-glare coating. But you need the unit of measurement, again, the diopter, starting at 0, being plano, better off to you guys, known as non-prescription. Starts at 0, goes up from there, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, 1 1/4, 150 on up. You need 2 steps of minification in your right eye. In fact, your eyes are the same. They are OU, which means the same in both eyes up to the axes. You need 2 steps of correction for your right eye, 2 steps of minification as well for your left eye. Now you have an additional 3 steps of astigmatism correction, and there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. Everyone freaks out when they hear that, but it's just like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. It is no big deal. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. It comes and goes. I don't know why people freak out over that word. But this first number is a real value. These first 2 numbers are, the axes are not, but the first 2 numbers are real values. You need 2 steps of correction to minify. You need 3 steps of correction to take away fuzzy edges. That's what astigmatism is. It makes letters, the P and F look alike, the numbers 6 and 8 look alike. Think of it as the fine-tune knob. First number gets everything the correct size, second number takes away fuzzy edges. If you think of a knob, the volume knob, the fine-tune knob, and a straight line being from 0 to 180, or better yet 1 to 180, we're going to turn that knob to 10. For your left eye, we're not turning it anywhere. It's staying on the 180. The 90 meridian is the vertical. 0 and 180 are the same line. So even though 10 and 180 look far apart on a number wheel, we have 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 6 to 0. Then we start back over at 170, 175, 0. So you're only 10 digits apart, even though 10 and 180 look like they're miles apart. Is any of this making sense? You will be tested on this later. Okay, so your left lens is just about done. The door will open. I will hit this button to open the chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Take the magnet out that's holding it in place. Dry your lens off. Where's your frame? Where's your frame? Over in my trusty Marco 101 lensometer. So, tuck it in at the outside corner first, then using my thumbs, press down at the nose, it snaps in. Let's take this block off. Dry the lens too. Oop, did I smear your little red dot? Let me darken that for you. I need the paperwork again too. Even though I know it's 180, I just need the white background in just a moment. So let's turn that wheel to 180, which is 0. Put the left lens in. I was almost going to do the right, but I'm getting minus 50. Can you see that? Minus 50, halfway between 0 and 1. You have 3 steps of astigmatism correction, 3 additional diopters. We are getting 1 1/4. Remember high school algebra, you add 2 minuses together, but using today's terms, if someone borrowed 50 cents, then borrowed another 75 cents, they would owe you $1.25. We are at 125, so that is measured perfectly. Your pupillary distance is 60. This is why I need your prescription, just the white background. I'm going to put my PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and then we hold it up to the left. We're getting 60 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. Normally I would adjust glasses, but these are sitting level on the table. These are yours, and they may be already pre-adjusted. But I want to clean the red dots off, because now I'm going to turn your lenses from clear. I'm going to activate the transitions in your lenses, which are a whole bunch of little molecules that when they are exposed to a strong dose of UV light, start to dance around and turn dark. So these are your lenses. They are virtually clear while they're indoors. I'm going to expose them to a strong burst of UV light in my little transitions box back here. I'm going to hit the button and turn it on, and as you will see, all transition lenses take about 30 to 45 seconds to darken when you go outside. It takes 45 seconds to a minute to lighten when you come back inside. And this is important, Tyler, pay attention. All transition lenses will turn dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks. They will continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they get to their final setting. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're behind the windshield in a traditional car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's ultraviolet light, so your dashboard does not crack from sitting in the sun. That's why transition lenses don't turn dark in a car. Now, if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, they will darken. They're also temperature sensitive. They don't get as dark when it's 85 to 90 degrees and above as they will when it's 90 degrees and below. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees, you're miserable, your glasses are miserable. No one likes to work 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. So this is the very first time they've been exposed. Again, don't worry, they're going to continue to darken as I just mentioned. But if anyone else has any questions about what I can or can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Tyler, I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut Transitions7 gray lenses with Crizal Alize anti-glare coating for your own Rayban 5228 color 2012 in the 52 eye size. And everyone else got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.